Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach. Today we have back with us Carey, Hanna. Carey, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mike. Glad to be here.
Well, I should say, Mac, I know you like going by Mac, and in our series, we've been getting to know each other, and I just love your approach to, serving your clients. And I know today we want to talk about a really important topic, which is annuities. Should they even be part of your retirement portfolio? Because I know that I'm not an expert or know much about financial products, but I know that a lot of people have questions and maybe even misconceptions about annuities. So let's just jump right in and even define and talk about what is an annuity and do people even need one?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a little bit humorous, but it's sad in some respects. I've had people say, I don't want an annuity. I don't believe in annuities. Pardon me, but do you have Social Security? Well, yes. Well, let me see now. You get a Social Security benefit. It's a guaranteed income for life. You cannot outlive it. That's an annuity.
Wow.
Annuities go back to the days of the Roman Empire. And the reason they go back there, and I taught this in my history classes, Rome would take their retiring soldiers, those who had completed their enlistments, and they would place them in different communities throughout the empire, and they would pay them a pension for the rest of their lives. That is an annuity.
Wow.
Annuities are not an investment. They're a contract between you, the client, and an investment company. Do you need an annuity? Well, that all depends, and that's why I ask questions, because I want to know what your goals and objectives are and what exactly are you trying to accomplish. Because whenever you do this thing, if you decide to purchase it, you've got to decide when do you want your income stream to start, and they're life expectancy based. They're what we call a commodity product. It is a contract. It is not an investment.
Now that's interesting, because I know that I would have thought if I had a piece of paper in front of me and was asked a question, is an annuity an investment? Yes or no? I would have checked the box and said, yeah. So clarify how an annuity is not an investment.
Well, what it is this. Annuity contracts were designed to compete with bank certificates of deposit, to take money away from the banks.
Yeah.
But there's some limitations in there also. And generally, their interest rates are a little bit higher than CD rates. Now, there are several types of annuities, probably 15 or more. There are variable annuities. And frankly, I've sold variable annuities, and I don't sell variable annuities anymore. They're too expensive, for one thing.
Okay.
There are surrender charges for another thing. The best annuity for my clients today are those that are the simplest. And like I explained in the first time we got together, I have never done anything because I wanted a high commission.
Yeah.
And two of those things out there are what we call a qualified longevity annuity contract and what is called a single premium immediate annuity. They're very simple. The multi-year guarantee annuity, that's the third one. And they're simple to understand. They are simple to the client, and they're very transparent.
Now, when you mentioned something there I wanted to ask about, you said that variable annuities are expensive and they have penalties. When I hear the word expensive, it makes me think of in the old days you would hear, oh, mutual funds have so many loads or expenses that even though you had a good return, it looks good, but now all of a sudden they take all these fees out and you're left with hardly anything. How are the expenses inside annuities work? And that's what you're saying is you should avoid variable annuities and go with fixed.
Well, whenever we look at this type of thing, now insurance companies, I've never seen an insurance company that wasn't in a big building somewhere.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, they don't give this stuff away.
Yep.
There are going to be fees that you do not see, whether it's management fees, whether it's commissions that are paid. There are certain surrender charges, and the longer that surrender period is, the more money the guy's going to be making. And that's one of the things that I'm talking about. Can you lose money in a variable annuity? Yes. There's no safety net in it. Because it's not really invested in the marketplace. But I look at this fixed index annuity, and they often quote the what is that? The S&P 500. Well, at least 40% of the gain on an S&P 500 comes from dividends. Well, that S&P 500 index inside an indexed annuity doesn't participate in those dividends. So you're not going to get market-like returns year after year after year. You're going to compete with the CDs. And you need to recognize that. You also need to recognize something else. The strength of the company that is backing that contract. It is a contract between you and the insurance carrier. And that's why it's extremely important that you understand the nuts and bolts that go into the making of an annuity.
Now, you said two things that I want to pause on and make sure we clarify, because I'm loving learning from you as well, and I know that listeners will find this interesting and helpful. You said the word safety net. So in an annuity, is there a type of annuity where it could be structured such if the whole market or whatever index it's tied to, if there's just craziness going on, you can rest assured that your principal won't be touched. You might not get returns, but you've got the safety net of knowing that you've got a floor of, you're not going to lose money. Do those exist?
Yes, they do. But there again, it depends on the strength of the company.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like to talk about what we call every state's got these guarantee funds sitting there, and each state is different on how much it will back up. But even during the Great Depression, where all the banks were closing, most of the insurance companies didn't have that problem. And you go with those who have the resources available to take care of any contractual agreement they have with a client, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking at their investment base. That's tremendous. Let me give you an example of something I'm talking about here. It's called a QLAC, a Qualified Longevity Annuity Contract. Now, who in the world put this creature together? Really and truly, it was the IRS and the Treasury Department, and it was designed to put an annuity inside an IRA. Yeah, an IRA. And the final rulings and final things came out in 2014. And what is the purpose of something like this? You don't want to put everything in there. If you want growth, go for growth. But when you've got the QLAC sitting in there, you can put up to 25% of your IRA into one of these, or $135,000. Now, if your wife is working and she's got that kind of money and her retirement plan, she can do it also. And it doesn't grow. It's there, but that's not really a negative, because let's suppose this. We have to take out money somewhere about age 72, okay? Well, with the QLAC, you don't have to begin taking it out until you're age 85.
Wow.
Look at the required minimum distributions. And this $135,000, if you qualify for it, you aren't going to have required minimum distributions based on the $135,000 And that can add up to big money down the road. Now, the longer you wait to draw out this money, and you can draw it out any time depending on how it's set up, you're going to get a higher payout until the money's all gone. You can set it up so your wife can get it. You can pass it on to a beneficiary that doesn't have to be your spouse. So really and truly, what does the KULAC solve for? It solves for income later. And that is awesome. You can help set it up to benefit your spouse or your partner.
Yeah.
So really and truly, it's something to really look for. Now, when you take a multi-year guaranteed annuity, think of CD, 6 months, a year, 5 year, whatever it might happen to be. You can do that with a multi-year guarantee, and you get the same protections. Generally, the multi-year guaranteed annuity is going to pay a higher interest rate than CD rates. And CD rates. And that's what it was designed to compete with. And these are exciting times as far as annuities are concerned. They've gotten a lot of heat, but understand that a lot of people are doing this complaining. What they're doing basically is they have another product to sell you.
Yeah.
They have another product to sell you, and so it's up to them to bash an annuity. We all have annuities, whether we're working with the federal government or anything else.
Interesting.
And I think it's something that really and truly we're doing a disservice whenever we start tossing out pie in the sky and the sweet by and by, that type of thing. And the insurance companies let these agents get away with it. You aren't going to get market growth. But I'll tell you what, sometimes you're going to feel the sting of a market downcline.
Yeah.
But the beautiful part about the annuity is, on the index annuity, there is a way that you can actually lose money. But if it's market driven, that loss is not recorded. And what happens is you are guaranteed not to have a lower amount in your account than you had the year before on the contract anniversary date.
So
and that's why they talk about that. That is a safety net. That is a safety net. And if you've got a 3-year or 5-year, I did a single premium annuity for a guy, and he put his entire pension plan in it. He was single. He had some health issues, that type of thing. And this is back when annuities on a spill were paying 8%. To the day he died, he got his 8% interest on his retirement money. Now, you can start it immediately, anytime up to a year. And the biggest thing people have to realize, there's only one exception that I know of. And I won't go into that at this particular time, but what it really comes down to is this. The annuity companies are not going to keep your money. It is going to a named beneficiary. It is going to a named beneficiary. And if you're concerned about your wife, you can set it up so she continues what you're getting. You can get it 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, lifetime. If you want it on a certain period of time before another benefit kicks in, you can do it. I know of a man who had 2 girls in college, and both of them wanted to become school teachers, and he established annuities for them that did not kick in for 30 years.
Wow.
For 30 years. Now think what that annuity is going to be paying in 30 years.
Yeah.
You can adjust for inflation at the beginning of the contract. There are so many benefits in there that really and truly you've got to look at them and understand what's there. That's a big old pie, and it slices many different ways.
Yes. Well, Mac, I think that you've really laid out some great points here, and just things to, dissolve, preconceived notions that people might have. And I think that's important to consider, that, just because you might have heard something about annuity, get with someone who can help educate you on what that will be for you. And Mac's recommendation to person A might be totally different than Mac's recommendation for person B. And I think that's a really big thing to keep in mind. So any last thoughts on what someone should consider, and then what is the best way that someone listening to this could reach out and connect with you and maybe have you take a look at their situation to see if an annuity might be a right fit for them?
Well, I'm going to try to simplify it, okay? One of the questions asked, do I need an annuity? For some people, it's no.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for principal protection, if you're looking for a lifetime income stream, and if you want to leave a legacy, and that's a big word, and have you considered long-term care, then you need to take a look at an annuity. I know of at least only five really, places that you can leave money that are reasonably safe. One's on a certificate of deposit. Now, the annuities aren't backed by FDIC. Municipal bonds, money market accounts, U.S. Treasuries, and a guaranteed annuity.
That's right up there with the big boys.
That's right there with the big boys. That is exactly right. Now, let me tell you how to get in touch with me if you don't mind. You can call me by cell phone, 803-270-9248. You can email me, mhanna@gforcecable.com. Or you can go to my website, and there's a section over there that says Contact Me. Put your question in there, put your information in there, and I will get back to you just as quick as I possibly can. And usually that's within 24 hours of the same day. But thank you, Mike. I greatly appreciate it.
Well, Mac, thank you so much for coming on and enlightening us on this really important topic. I appreciate your time.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneursradio.com.